On a sunlit afternoon in the serene suburb of Willow Creek, chaos erupted. Helen, the iron-willed HOA president, lay sprawled at the base of a ramp she'd sworn to tear down, her authority crumbling as dramatically as her composure. Neighbors stood stunned, caught between shock and a rebellious thrill. Among them were Ryan and his brother Ethan, the masterminds of this upheaval, their pulses racing with the audacity of their actions. The air buzzed with defiance, but what followed would shake even the most passive resident to their core. Willow Creek was a picture-perfect neighborhood, with flawless lawns and uniform homes, but beneath its polished surface simmered tension, fueled by Helen's tyrannical grip on the HOA. Her rules: no visible trash cans, unapproved decorations, or deviations from her vision of perfection, were enforced ruthlessly. Helen wasn't just maintaining order, she was waging a war on individuality, driven by deep-seated insecurities from a youth marked by powerlessness. To her, control was a shield against chaos, and any challenge threatened her fragile ego. Ryan lived in this suffocating world, his days devoted to caring for his wheelchair-bound mother, Clara. Clara was his anchor, her resilience a beacon despite her physical limitations. Each morning, Ryan wheeled her down their quiet street, a ritual of freedom in a neighborhood choked by Helen's decrees. The ramp at their home wasn't just wood and nails. It was Clara's lifeline to dignity. Helen, perched on her porch like a hawk, saw it as a blemish on her pristine domain. The conflict ignited at a tense HOA meeting. With her signature icy demeanor, Helen announced a new edict: all ramps must be removed to preserve aesthetic harmony. The words hit Ryan like a punch. Clara's independence hung in the balance, and Helen's callous rationale, property values over human needs, sparked a fire in him. Murmurs rippled through the crowd, but fear of Helen's wrath kept most silent. Ryan's anger simmered, his resolve hardening. This wasn't just about a ramp, it was about justice. Days later, Helen arrived at Ryan's home, flanked by stern-faced board members. "The ramp goes, Ryan," she declared, her voice dripping with authority. Clara, watching from her wheelchair, gripped the armrests, her eyes blazing with defiance. "This is my mother's freedom," Ryan shot back, his voice trembling with barely contained rage. Helen's response was cold. "Non-compliance means fines. Or worse." The threat hung heavy, a guillotine over their fragile peace. As Helen strode away, Ryan felt a visceral helplessness, but Clara's reassuring touch steeled his determination. They would fight. The neighborhood buzzed with unease. Helen's crusade against the ramp wasn't just an attack on Clara. It was a power play, a reminder of her unchallenged dominion. But cracks were forming. Neighbors whispered about their grievances, fines for minor infractions, creativity stifled by Helen's rules. Ryan and Ethan saw an opportunity. Late into the night they plotted, their voices low but fervent. "We need allies," Ethan urged, his pragmatic mind balancing Ryan's passion. They'd rally the community, gather signatures, and challenge Helen at the next HOA meeting. It was a gamble, but Clara's dignity was worth it. The showdown came on a crisp morning. Helen arrived with contractors, ready to dismantle the ramp. A crowd gathered, drawn by the brewing storm. Ryan stood firm, blocking her path. "This ramp stays," he declared, his voice ablade. Ethan stood beside him, a silent pillar of strength. Helen's eyes narrowed, her clipboard a weapon of bureaucracy. "It's coming down," she snapped, stepping toward Clara's wheelchair with chilling intent. The crowd gasped as she reached for the handle, a blatant overstep, a violation of Clara's autonomy. Time slowed. Ethan, fueled by protective fury, acted on instinct. In a blur, he launched a drop kick, his foot connecting with Helen's midsection. She stumbled, arms flailing, and tumbled down the ramp in a chaotic heap. The crowd froze, the silence deafening. Helen, disheveled and dazed, struggled to rise, her aura of invincibility shattered. For a moment, vulnerability flickered in her eyes, a glimpse of the fractured woman beneath the tyrant. Ethan stepped back, his chest heaving, Locking eyes with Ryan in unspoken agreement, this was defense, not aggression. The neighborhood erupted. Whispers turned to shouts. "She went too far!" one neighbor cried. "That ramp's a lifeline!" another added. Clara, still in her wheelchair, became the rally's heart, her quiet strength galvanizing the crowd. Helen staggered away, her pride wounded, leaving behind a community transformed. The incident wasn't just a spectacle, it was a reckoning. Neighbors, once cowed by fear, found their voices. Petitions circulated, grievances aired, and the HOA's iron grip began to loosen. Helen's fall marked her undoing. The next HOA meeting was a rebellion. Residents spoke out, their stories of oppression weaving a tapestry of dissent. The board, once Helen's puppets, fractured under public pressure. Local media caught wind, amplifying the story with headlines questioning the HOA overreach. Helen, cornered by her hubris, watched her empire crumble. A new board was elected, diverse, empathetic, and inclusive. Policies were rewritten, prioritizing people over perfection. Clara's ramp stood tall, a symbol of triumph. Willow Creek was reborn. Block parties and community gardens replaced sterile uniformity. Clara, now a beloved figure, rolled through the neighborhood, her garden a hub of connection. Ryan and Ethan, once isolated warriors, were embraced as catalysts of change. The apology from the new HOA board, delivered at a packed gathering, was a balm to their wounds. "We failed you," the chair admitted, "but we'll make it right." The crowd cheered, a chorus of unity. Yet, the story wasn't without controversy. Ethan's dropkick, though born of desperation, sparked debate. Was it justice or recklessness? Did it undermine their cause or amplify it? The neighborhood's transformation was undeniable, but the means lingered as a point of contention, a moral gray area that fueled heated discussions. As the sun set on Willow Creek, the community stood stronger, bound by shared purpose. Ryan reflected on their journey, the battles won, and the bonds forged. Clara's ramp, once a battleground, was now a beacon of resilience. The fight had been messy, but it had awakened a neighborhood to its power. The future was theirs to shape, one rooted in compassion and courage. What do you think? Was Ethan's dropkick a heroic stand or a dangerous escalation? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's dive into the ethics of rebellion and justice in our communities. Like and subscribe for more stories of defiance and transformation.